everybody. Here we are again. You remember me. I'm Joyce. This is Griff.
Hi.
And guess what? We are so excited because two of the guys we've talked about you have not met yet. We are here in Springboro, Ohio. And Denny, Captain Dutch is here. And here's Ken from Chicago. So take it away, guys.
Wow. It's all great to be together again. We thought we'd talk today about maybe how we got started in the singing group years and years ago. And so someone can start here and pick it up. Anybody?
Well, all right, I'll start. We're talking again about how we got together. And basically, back in 1965, in the fall, several of us were in the band, and we were riding back on a band bus from a away football game. And Denny's going to show you what we had. We had a 4-string guitar, a banjo type of guitar. It looks like it might have been handmade. And we were singing the popular folk songs of the day. And some of the cheerleaders were on the bus, and some of the band people were on the bus, and we were all singing. We're all seniors, and we all got to sing some of the, Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, and MTA, and some of those songs from those were current popular songs in that year that were folk songs. And
so who exactly was on the bus, Ken? That you were on? Who exactly? So
it was Denny and Bill,
okay,
and my
other band members,
and there was other band members. There were some cheerleaders on the bus that were sitting.
On the bus as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joyce was on the bus, and 3 of our other women. Jenny, Sally, and Janet. And Joyce were all on the bus too.
Patsy was in the band.
Patsy was in the band, so she was on the bus too. This was the senior bus. That's the cheerleaders got to ride in the senior bus, which was nice. And we liked that because cheerleaders that time kind of hung around a lot with the football players. And
not band members.
Not band members. So we actually were able to, socialize with the cheerleaders.
And that's the original.
And so here's how the memories differ from the year to year, after 50 years or so. This is the original, one of the original ukuleles. This is my mother's ukulele, and I would play with this. And Bill Curtis had a metal, here's where we differ in our brain.
Oh, okay.
A metal ukulele, 4-string ukulele. And it was just like this, but it was made out of aluminum. And so we brought these two because they were fairly indestructible. And we used them on the band bus, and we started singing with that. Pretty soon we had more and more people singing.
We got a bunch of people singing, and we decided that was so much fun that would it be fun to have a group and a folk group. And at that point in time, the New Christy Minstrels and the Serendipity Singers were all, that was the rage that time. So it was a big group, a combination of co-ed groups, and they were singing these folk songs. And so we decided to emulate them, and we decided to go ahead and form a group. And some of the cheerleaders, we brought them on board. Griff, we wanted to get Griff because she shouldn't call you Griff.
Let her tell us how that happened.
Yeah.
How it happened was that somebody said that they needed an alto and then to add to the thing. I had done music with the All Ohio Youth Choir, and somebody remembered that, and so somebody just asked, and basically that's how it was.
And you accepted?
And I accepted, I thought, very cool, because I was new to the school. I was new to the school system. I did not come until the first school year of 1963-64. So that was really fun to be able to be a part of this group.
So Joyce, what happened? How did you get?
Okay, then I graduated in 66, so I'm the babes, right? However, I was with another little trio at that time, and they were all seniors. It was wonderful, and we were all great friends. And then after they graduated, some of the group went to college or here, there, and everywhere. And the next thing I know, that I got a call and said, hey, we need a soprano. Come with the group. I was thrilled. This was in 1960, when I graduated, 66, 67. Okay. And so I've been with the group ever since. But it was just so wonderful that hey, they gave me a call, and of course I knew all the music, so it was a fit. And one thing that's never been said, Denny and I, when he was 7, I was 6, or maybe it could be 6 and 8, 9 and 10, who knows?
Yep.
We performed together. He used to tap dance. I would sing. My mother would come on with the piano. His mom would put a little 45 on, and he'd come out and tap dance with his coat and his cane and his top hat. It was the cutest darn thing. So then we were wanted for like Mother's Days, places to entertain. So Denny and I have been together since we were one digits. Digits, I put it. So long time. We're blessed to have all these friends, and there will be a time that you will. I promise you, you will meet all 10 of us. We really do have 10
And
of
Denny
us.
will do a reenacting of that particular tap dance.
Well,
Right?
actually, Joyce does a pretty good imitation. That I saw a recent gathering that we had. Yeah, but, just to continue on with kind of the involvement of the group. Ken, you had a story about the guitars.
Yeah, Denny, he had that little ukulele that his
Mom,
your mom had,
Yeah.
and so he knew how to play that. But it only has 4 strings, and of course,
And
it would not have been cool to have that as one of our instruments in the group. So, and Jim, we got Jim. He was in the band. He was a really good guitar player. We knew that, and of course, Bill played the bass, and Terry was Bill were in a group together the year before, so they knew some songs. And Terry he wasn't in the band, but we got him to play and be our banjo player. And but so we had 3. Well, the 5 people that we had, the 5 guys, 3 of them had instruments, guitar and bass and banjo. We needed a couple more guitar players, and that fell to Denny and I. Problem is, we didn't have guitars, and we also didn't know how to play guitars. And we decided that we would take the group, and our opening act, first time playing in public, would be the Hootenanny. They had Hootenannies back then, after our homecoming football game, which was 3 weeks from the day we decided to form the group. So we had 3 weeks, and Denny and I didn't have guitars, and we didn't know how to play guitars. So both of us, we decided, it was early October or late September, and we both went to our parents, and we said, we would like to get our Christmas presents early. And they said, well, what would you want? We said, we want guitars. Denny and I are going to get guitars. That's what we want for Christmas, but we need them now. And so we went down to Howard Music in downtown Dayton, and we bought matching guitars, Harmony 6-string, steel string guitars. And remember those things? Yeah. And we got home, and by the time the 3rd week came around, after a lot of rehearsal and getting together, we could play guitar, and we've been playing them ever since. I still play in church. Denny plays the guitar almost professionally, or does play professionally, with some bands, and still playing with bands to playing the electric guitar. But the interesting thing was that we had identical guitars, identical 6 strings. After a year or so, 54 years ago, and Denny, I graduated. I actually moved up to a 12-string, but later on, and I've been playing. I went through 2 12-strings. I played at church for 40 years, and I'm still doing it. But I needed a new guitar, and Denny had gotten one, and I really liked it. It was a Martin guitar, which was one of the top brands of guitars. So I ordered what I thought was a guitar just like Denny's. I went in and I did. They're very, very similar, except when I got here and we compared them, obviously they're just a little bit different in their shape.
But you didn't plan
54,
that.
no, 54 years later, we now have matching guitars again. So,
and his is the fancy color.
I love that.
I have the nice little cutaway.
Great story.
Yeah.
Great story.
So interesting. We have folk guitars that match as well before. So yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? 50 years apart in the same store.
Yes, we had. So anyway, the fact that we're getting together in so many times, and we've been especially the last year, it's been very active, and we've been able to get together several times with the whole group. And it's just something that as boomers ourselves, we cherish it now. We're all over the country, and we love each other dearly, and we get together and have a lot of fun. And I think that it's something that's very therapeutic for all of us to have these friendships that we've maintained, and that's kind of how it fits into what the themes of some of these sessions that we're putting on YouTube. Kind of what we're talking about is.
Oh, Denny, you had something else that you wanted to show the group.
I do have
a
very nice similar artifact.
There you go.
You know you're getting old when somebody calls us things for our artifacts.
I call it an artifact, but we had some very fine 60s Madras shirts that we wore, and they were red kind of plaid, and had some purple in it, and I stumbled across this in a second-hand shop, and I think I paid about $2 for it, and it's just the closest clone that we all wore matching shirts at that time. And so there it is, boys.
There it is.
$2 right there.
You boomers, if you look in your closet, there's probably one in there.
Yeah, one of you may have our old shirt.
Today.
Who knows?
That's right.
But yeah.
We all wore those. We all wore them.
And they were the best. Except, in the early Madrid shirts, they would bleed sort of into, and your other clothes would take on that interesting color as well. So you had to be careful as you wash those. But yeah. I'm going to ask Jennifer a question here, too. Jennifer, when you first joined the group, how did that group sort of affect your life in your last few years of school and high school?
Oh, made all the difference in the world, Denny, is because when my first 2 years of high school were spent it was more of an inner city school. And so my parents then moved out to the suburbs, and it changed immensely. I was able to take part in all kinds of things I never did before. I was given opportunities I never, and then the group of friends, of course.
Yeah.
And those were days of which were so wonderful and of growth and different experiences. So it made the difference between. It was a night and day experience for me to be able to do that and carry that on.
I think that's probably true of all of us. We were so close together because of the practice time that we had. And when you think of being back about 17, 18 years old, your hormones are raging like crazy, right? And so to hang out with 5 girls and 5 guys together, it was certainly a lot of fun. We had a tremendous amount of fun being together and working with the music as well, because all of us were very interested in music at that time. And we still are. Almost every one of us has interest in music, if not just from listening to good things, to actually performing and making music, all the way to a professional level. So it's still with us.
Oh, absolutely. And Denny, you're amazing that you carried it, of course, through your professional life as well. And I know you don't like to say, but you play like multiple
I somewhat overdosed, but yeah.
I'd like to just
probably 15 plus instruments.
No, it's not quite that by any no.
I want to interject one thing about how little things can affect your lives. Denny, hold the shirt up again.
Oh yeah, sure.
And that shirt, the Madras shirt, changed my life. And the way it did it is when I went to Purdue University in Indiana after graduating from Centerville, and early in the first year, our freshman year, our dorm had a mixer with one of the girls' dorms, and I went to the mixer, and when I walked in, there was a very cute girl there who was wearing a Ten of Us Madras shirt, the exact shirt.
Did she know it was a Ten of Us shirt?
Well, she did after I told her, and that she really wasn't qualified to wear that shirt or something like that.
In other words, she was clueless.
Yeah, and it turns out that her mom,
Ten of Us who
shopped at Penny's and had bought the shirt at Penny's, and I found out later that Sally, one of our girls, when she was the one that went to Penny's in Kettering, one of the local Penny stores, and had found all those shirts at Penny's. So that
And the long
changed my
story
life.
short is
54 years later, or 50 years later, we
he
celebrated our
married the gal with the mattress
Wow.
shirt.
I married the girl with the mattress shirt.
And both Ken and Denny have been married 50 years. So
Not to
hats
each other.
off. So
Hats off to Mariana and to Sharon.
absolutely.
They put up
God
with this,
bless
brother.
them.
Yes.
And they
yes.
are terrific themselves. So
Okay.
there'll be a day maybe we'll get to meet them too.
So what we hope today is to have shared with you some of the reasons that, and some of the stories that have brought us all together and brought us back together. And hopefully in the future you'll get to hear more stories of why it's been such a wonderful journey.
And maybe
for
hopefully
all
hear a
of
little
us.
music too.
Yes, and hear more music. We were challenged today to be able to do that. So
Our speaker wasn't picking up, and we were going to do some original songs, and it didn't work out, but they're coming towards you soon.
absolutely,
We're
with
working
love
on
from
it.
all of us to you.
So thanks
Till
for
next time.
tuning in. Till next time, and you finally got to meet Ken and Denny, and the only one left to meet in the whole group is Bill, and he's our producer. So one of these days.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us.